This first report, Matt Moore shines in his first day as the Miami Dolphins starter. This report comes from James Walker of ESPN. Moore took all the first team reps and put together one of his better practices. He was in control of the offense, which railed after struggling to recover from the shock of Ryan Tannehill's injury halfway through Thursday's practice. Moore's best throw Friday was a beautiful 30-yard lob to running back Damian Williams, who streaked out of the backfield to outrun a linebacker in one-on-one coverage. Moore throws a beautiful deep ball, and that arm was on display. Moore also hit receiver Devontae Parker on a pair of 20-yard plus gains that moved the chains in team drills. His worst throw was into double coverage to Devontae Parker. Safety Michael Thomas and quarterback Byron Maxwell combined to break up the pass for an incompletion. Moore is an aggressive quarterback who has more of a gunslinger mentality than Ryan Tannehill. So this is really good news. And if there is a silver lining to this, Matt Moore is a gunslinger. He throws a beautiful deep bomb. He can stretch the field with his arm, and that's something we're going to see a lot this upcoming season if Tannehill can't go week one. And this is great news. Matt Moore had a really good first day as the Miami Dolphins starter. This next report is what Matt Burke had to say about the rookie Raekwon McMillan. This report comes from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. Matt Burke said, quote, Raekwon's done a good job with what we want him to do in terms of taking charge of the huddle, leading the group. That position has to make a lot of calls. We're trying to get him work with the first group and against better competition and see how he responds, and he's been good so far. So this is great news. Obviously, Raekwon has taken most of the reps at middle linebacker more than any other player on the team. So it looks like he's going to start there. And that's great news. The fact that the defensive staff has that much faith in a rookie to be the middle linebacker of the defense says a lot about where Raekwon McMillan is at this point in his career. He's been a godsend. I think the Dolphins have finally found their franchise middle linebacker, and I cannot wait to see what he does in preseason. This next report is what Matt Burke had to say about cornerback Xavier Howard and how much he has improved. This report comes from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. Burke said, quote, a lot. I'm going to turn the pressure up on X a little bit. He's had an outstanding camp. It's hard. He's a rookie last year, had the issues and the plays with people a lot psychologically and physically. He's had a very, very, very good camp. We're putting a lot of expectations on him to continue that trend. So this is great news. Obviously, many Dolphins fans are worried about the cornerback position, and I think Xavier Howard is going to surprise a lot of people. As Matt Burke said, he's had a really good camp. He had a really good OTAs, and I would expect nothing less from the regular season. And I think a lot of people are going to wear number 25 jerseys this upcoming season. This next report is what Matt Burke had to say about the depth at the linebacker position. Matt Burke said, quote, Neville Hewitt has had a really, really good camp. We feel good about Mike Cole. We feel we're pretty good with about 5 deep. So this is great news. Obviously, depth has been a problem for the Dolphins defense. And I'm telling you guys, Neville Hewitt is somebody you guys have to circle and watch this preseason. I expect him to do a lot of great things this preseason and really show flashes of a bona fide NFL starter. This next report is what Matt Burke had to say about safety Nate Allen. He said, quote, he's been great, as advertised. Smart veteran, competitive, always in the right place. I laugh because everyone sees TJ McDonald making a lot of flash plays, but Nate is kind of making real consistent plays. He doesn't necessarily make all the flashy plays. He's got his hands on some balls, which has been nice. He's a calming influence, which is exactly what we wanted out of him. So, as you guys know, I have been a Nate Allen. I didn't really like the Nate Allen move. I never really liked Nate Allen as a player, but he has really surprised me throughout this offseason and training camp. And I think he's going to be just fine in TJ McDonald's absence, as Matt Burke stated there in that report. And it makes you feel better as a Dolphins fan because I thought that was going to be a real problem for the first 8 games because obviously the safety position is really important. But it looks like Nate Allen is up to the task. When Matt Burke was asked who has been the best Miami Dolphins on defense so far in training camp, he said, quote, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Cameron Wake and Ndamukong Suh are having the 2 best camps of anybody on this entire field. So this is great news. I'm telling you guys, Ndamukong Suh looks better than ever, and so does Cameron Wake. I would not be surprised if Suh was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good he's looked. And with the talent that we have surrounded him with, and how he elevates talent, it's going to be insane. He's going to terrorize offenses this upcoming season. Alright, we're going to do a quick rundown of all the biggest headlines from day 8 of Miami Dolphins training camp. Matt Moore took first team reps with the Miami Dolphins offense as Ryan Tannehill sidelined due to a knee injury on Friday. Center Mike Pouncey hip was participating in positional drills with the offensive line. Linebacker Neville Hewitt began practice on the sideline. Back Jay Ajayi concussion was still being held out of practice. Anthony Steen took over at center with Craig Urbick at left guard for an injured Ted Larson. Devon Gottschalk is working with the first team unit instead of Jordan Phillips. Nick Williams was slow to get up and walked off the field gingerly after one play. Jakeem Grant made a nice sideline grab and has had a better week of practice. Raekwon McMillan had a nice stuff of Kenyon Drake on an inside run. Leonte Crew was given some first team reps in place of Kenny Stills. Matt Moore hit Damian Williams on a nice route out of the backfield. Jesse Davis got some first team reps at guard. Matt Moore hit Devontae Parker on a couple of deep slant routes. So again, I think the biggest thing to take out of, again, kind of similar to yesterday, the biggest thing to take out of Day 8 of Miami Dolphins training camp is Devon Gottschalk continues to get first team reps. Matt Burke said the reason why he has gotten first team reps over Jordan Phillips is they're just trying to see different pairings, who works together, who pairs well with each other. It doesn't necessarily mean one's better than the other. So he says. So we'll see. Devon has had a great training camp. Can't wait to see him play in preseason. So there have been, despite the bad news of Ryan Tannehill's injury, there are still things to be positive about. Still a lot of young players on this football team that are going to have great seasons this upcoming season. And I am Skagster1083, and this has been your Miami Dolphins training camp recap for Day 8. Let's get through the rigmarole first before we start the podcast. Remember, guys, this podcast posts each and every single Wednesday. The first segment of the show, we go through all the Dolphins news you need to know about. The second segment of the show, we go through all the AFC East news you need to know about. And the third and final segment of the show, we go through the Miami Dolphins fan Q&A.